Andy Woodfine.
Yes, mate.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The sexiest voice. the sexiest voice from all of my 50-something episodes.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the feedback I was getting. Actually, it's a tie between you and Arvin. I don't know if you listened to the one with Arvin.
No, I haven't caught that. Okay, all right. I need to check him out.
Those were the two episodes where people like, oh man, that guy. He sounds hot. So now we have video.
Yeah, no, this is the problem. You've gone and absolutely ruined it for me. The
Don't
voice,
worry.
face,
Most people listen on Spotify, so
okay.
they're not going to see this.
Thank God for that. Right, then we're good.
Yeah, Arvin actually got there was one comment that was fantastic. Someone was like, you should do audio books of like porn novels. Because his voice is so smooth and sexy.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
all right.
So that was my favorite comment.
Nice. Fair play. I mean, sure. There's definitely. I mean, there's a market for it.
Yeah. Would you do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd do anything for the money. No, I'm joking.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
Not yet.
Not
I
yet.
think maybe after this episode I might have to.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not?
Let's see. There must be
Especially
one.
if it's like your voice. That would be super easy.
I mean, there's one for feet. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of them for feet. You know what's crazy? I heard why that is a thing for so many people.
Oh, okay. This is mind-blowing because I've wanted to know this.
Yeah.
For so many years.
I heard someone talk about this. I have no idea how true it is, but I heard someone talk about it on a podcast that I think was knowledgeable. That apparently the brain's wiring.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm gonna mess this up so bad. Like the center for the legs and feet, or whatever, like the control center for the legs and feet, is close to the one of the genitals. Like
what?
In the brain, so those two can get. There can be like a mix-up, and if there is a mix-up, that because of the proximity, that's what happens.
Oh, wow.
So that's why a lot of people have a foot fetish, because it's literally close to the genitalia.
Okay, that is A, awesome, B, not quite as fun as I thought it would be.
What?
I'm a little bit let down. I thought there was some kind of weird, sick kind of... No, that's far too logical for my liking.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, damn it. Oh, well.
I can lie.
Yeah, please. It's ad-lib. Cut that. I want to make something up now.
Oh, man.
No, but that's crazy because I've genuinely had conversations with my wife where I'm like, I mean, can't we just, sell feet pictures?
Yeah.
I don't know. How hard can it be?
Her feet pictures.
Yeah, her feet. Yeah, they're messed up as well. So I'm sure there's a fetish for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, Amanda.
This is starting great.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's fantastic from the ankles and up. So
the problem is, where does it stop?
Right.
When people start saying like, "Oh, I'll give you double for this."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Then I'll be like, "Yeah, you can do that." But there was this girl in England that made millions from selling farts in a jar.
Oh,
now we're getting
genius.
Yeah, I know. It's utterly genius. But then she went to hospital because she was trying to create too many jars. Really? I don't know where I'm going with this conversation.
She was probably like eating stuff that made her fart more, right?
Yeah. So she ended up in hospital.
Wow.
So, slippery slope.
It starts with feet and ends in the hospital for farting too much.
Careful, kids.
I've had like a handful of fairly serious conversations on this podcast recently, and I was so excited for you to come and just talk some shit, and I'm so happy that it started this way. Like, this was not planned.
I don't think you and I have ever really had a serious conversation.
Well, actually, we just over dinner. Yeah,
that's true. That was real deep.
Yeah,
that was probably more podcast conversation.
Probably, but we'll save that for a different time. I've had like a biotech guy here talking about, he's writing a book about dystopian future about with biotech and AI, and like talking about world wars and shit. I'm like, oh man, Andy, come here. Let's talk about farts in a jar. I need to lighten my life up.
You need that, and it's like positivity. And just having a bit of fun is kind of gone out of fashion now.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's so serious.
Yeah.
Everyone is so, committed to the grind and, trying to show how many hours they're working and how wealthy they are. Fuck, I mean, let's just enjoy the ride a little bit.
We forget why we work.
Right.
The whole thing is you work hard to get money so you can have fun.
Right.
Like, don't forget the have fun part.
Exactly.
If you don't do that part, everything else sucks.
Yeah. Right.
Like, why are you doing the rest?
This is the thing. I was listening to a podcast, ironically, and he said that the three main sort of measurables of happiness are enjoyment. Now, that's not pleasure, but enjoyment. So pleasure is obviously one thing, but enjoyment is it has to be encapsulated by having people and meaning, and pleasure is just for yourself. And then it was satisfaction, which is doing something for a long-term gain, so deferred happiness. And then it was what was the last one? Meaning. Right. So, and not just meaning like, oh, I'm making a difference, and you could sell your farts and still have a meaning.
Sure.
But it's a bit of a stretch, that one. But but those are the three sort of main like measures of happiness, and it's not how much money you have. It's not how much knowledge you have, what job you've got, how many hours you worked last week.
So meaning. What was the other one? Satisfaction
and enjoyment.
And enjoyment.
But not to be confused with pleasure. That's what I learned from that podcast.
Okay.
See?
So,
good student.
Where are you in these three?
Oh, God. Interesting question, because if you'd asked me like 2 years ago, it would have been a totally different conversation. I'm actually at the best point in my life probably ever at the moment.
Nice.
And not because of some job or some person. It's because I've actually just kind of figured out that I need to give less of a shit about things.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally that simple. Of course, I'm a very hard worker. It's kind of naturally embedded in me, but I don't care about being a hard worker anymore. I just kind of get on with it and don't necessarily expect the world because I'm, giving 110%. And sounds like a paradox, but it's actually quite nice.
No, I get it. I mean, I guess in the past, maybe you were trying to prove something to someone.
Yes.
Now you've already done that, so now you're working hard because you enjoy working.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. On paper, I've got a fantastic life, and I'm actually just starting to appreciate that now.
Nice.
Which is, there you go. Some deep talk.
Fantastic.
There you go.
I'm happy to hear that. What gives you meaning?
Okay, cliche.
Of course.
Super cliche now.
Wife and kids.
And my wife and kids. I love my babies. No, my kids are amazing. They're awesome. Don't get me wrong, and that definitely changes your perspective. But they've been here for 8 years, so what's happened in the last 2 years? Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, 8-year-old and a 7-year-old. I mean, shit, that's like old news now. So what's happened in the last 2 years that kind of gives you meaning? It's actually just understanding that life is not infinite. It's very short, and let's actually just enjoy the ride. Because I think I, like many other people in my circle, friendship group, people I know, work with, you're so focused on trying to get to the next big thing.
Yeah.
You're like, I need that next promotion, I need that new car, I need that, I don't know, whatever. And you forget to actually enjoy the little bits and the small pieces. And I grew up like definitely city boy, concrete jungle kind of background. And then, concrete jungle. People know where I'm actually from. They'd be like, what are you talking about, concrete jungle?
Don't worry, they're not listening to this podcast.
It's a leafy suburb of Hampshire called Fleet, but no, but...
Why did you say concrete jungle?
Because England is a concrete jungle. The whole country is basically made of concrete. And I moved to Sweden, and I was like, oh my God, you've got lakes and like mountains and forests, and it's beautiful.
Stockholm, so much nature.
Right, exactly. No, but even in the city, you've got more nature than most of the UK.
I'm not joking. Like, there's water. There's water everywhere.
Right.
You can just go to the water wherever you are.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of taken this stance where it's like, what, you want to go for a walk? Fuck off. Why do I want to go for a walk unless I'm going somewhere?
Yeah.
And I hate to admit it, but I've actually come to that age where I'm like, do you want to go for a walk?
Oh, yeah. That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I love going for a walk.
Right. But,
Yeah, that's like one of the best things, like the biggest life improvements in my life. When I started my own business,
doing
copywriting, working mostly from home.
Right. Yeah.
Is during the winter,
Yes.
when you have just every now and then like a 20 minutes of sunshine or an hour.
It's a game changer.
I just go out and take a walk.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that before when I was working office hours. And you go to work, it's dark. You're coming back from work, it's dark.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that this was a thing, but like that drastically improved my life quality. Just being able to, whenever the sun is shining, put down the laptop, go for a walk, and then come back and work.
I've got a great tip for how to do it more. Have kids. They force you to.
Oh yeah.
And also, it's a great excuse because you don't have to be, the guy wandering on his own through the woods. You can actually,
okay. Go walk in nature.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and they love it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the world's greatest parents, but one thing we are. But
of course you are.
I'm not going to say that on the podcast. That would just be arrogant.
Yeah, totally.
Why would I ever admit that?
Keep talking about it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep talking about it. No, but like one thing we've definitely succeeded with is our kids love being outside, and I think that is massive because, the allure of video games, iPads, TikTok, Snapchat, all this stuff that the kids do. That I kind of starting to fall out of love with very, very fast. My kids don't really have any desire or need to be there because they want to be outside.
That's great.
And we've definitely manipulated them into doing this, which is, our job as a parent.
Yeah.
But it's
called raising your kids.
Right, exactly. It's the most fun part of being a parent. It's like, no, I'm joking. But it's great, and they've done so much research on this. There's daycares and stuff that are outdoor daycares, schools that are outdoor schools. I mean, look at Finland. The education system there is phenomenal because they spend time outdoors, and our kids absolutely love it. They know more about the woods and the trees and the birds and the bees. Maybe not the birds and the bees, but the animals than I ever did and ever will, and it's mind blowing how much they absorb.
That's fantastic.
So that's that was a game changer for me. Is actually appreciating nature, but also appreciating what's happening in your life. And I am not a nature person, but I have become sort of one. I'm on my way. I'm transitioning.
Nice. I gotta ask you because that's a topic that comes up a lot on this podcast and elsewhere. Everyone is talking about how do you get your kids off of the phones or when is the right time and all that stuff.
It's great. We've got
how did you manage to pull this off?
Yeah, we got one really easy technique.
Okay.
Just don't give it to them.
Don't give it to them.
Yeah.
No screens.
No, they don't have. I mean, they have an iPad that's locked in a cupboard. Like when we go traveling, we pop it out. If we're going on a plane, then you I mean, like I say,
you need it.
They watch TV. We're not animals. But it's they don't have their own iPad that they can go use wherever they want. They don't have a games console. They don't have their own phones. And it's, I mean, like I say, 7 and 8. I never even thought that we'd be having this conversation.
Yeah.
But half their friends have phones and iPads.
Phones.
Yeah. Some of them are even like.
And they're
texting.
not asking for one?
No. Because I think we made it pretty clear from the beginning that it's just not going to happen. And
Okay.
we've also tried to educate them as much as you can educate a 7-year-old on the dangers of phones and screen time. But they're pretty well aware. Actually, a proud parent moment. I was driving my son to football training, and he was talking to his mate in the back who I think I don't know if he has a phone, but he has a games console. And I had my son in the back going, "Yeah, no, we're not allowed one because it's not good for you." And
Nice.
I was like, "Oh shit, we won!"
Yeah.
Shortly, anyway, we'll see.
Done.
We're still going to go through teenage years, and I'm sure there'll be a backlash. But right now, it's great.
How about do you and your wife use your phones in front of them, or you try to not do that? Or
I mean, probably too much is the honest
kids
answer.
People say kids do what their parents do, not what they say.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, generally, yeah. But I mean, when they're 7 and 8, or my son's just turned 7, it's a 7-year-old. If I don't want him to have a phone, then I just don't give him a phone. It's not harder than that. And yeah, sometimes there are definitely times where I'm sitting there on my phone, or I'm either mindlessly scrolling Instagram, and they're in the same room, and you notice like, okay, I should probably stop. So it's a good reminder. But no, I'm far from perfect in that respect.
Yeah.
But it's there's also a bit of a principle of, I am definitely a soft parent in that sense, but not to the extreme that modern day society has kind of created this new wave of new age parenting. I'm super emotionally connected to my kids, but if it's a no, it's a no.
Yeah.
It's a 7-year-old. What's he gonna do? I mean, come on, put him up. he's not gonna do shit. He's 7, right?
You still have a good 7 or 8 years of that.
Exactly.
Before.
And to be fair, probably less because he's gonna be a giant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm terrified. Terrified.
So when is, in your opinion, the right age to give them a phone?
I genuinely have no idea, and our only plan is to hold out as long as we possibly can.
Got it.
Because there's going to come a point where you don't want, they're going to need it I say in sort of in inverted commas, because no kid needs a phone, but they're going to want it more so for the social aspect than they do now. Because right now, I mean, they can go knock on their neighbor's door and go play with the neighbors, but they can't hop on a bus and go to Stockholm. So right now we are controlling their social interactions in a way because we are their vehicle.
Yeah.
They haven't got a driver's license yet, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. They don't do that anymore for kids.
Lazy.
No. God, back in my days. Yeah, but so they...
in the concrete jungle.
In the concrete jungle of leafy Hampshire. Yeah, exactly.
You had your own car at 7. Stolen, obviously.
Right, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah, rough childhood.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to need it at some point. I mean, surely when they creep towards 10 and into the teenage years, there's going to come a point. But we've said to them, there's sort of the only communication we've had about when is that when we think you're ready. Mm-hmm. So for them to sort of, we want to postpone it as long as humanly possible. Yeah. And then there's going to come a point where it's a breaking point and they want it, they quote unquote need it for their social interaction. That's going to happen. We're aware of that, but their mind is so fragile and so developing. The longer we can postpone all these impressions, because my God, I'm 36 years old. I cannot stop scrolling Instagram.
Yeah.
And I know it's bad for me. How can a 7-year-old do it? Yeah. I mean, there's way smarter people than me in the world trying to figure out how to keep me on this phone. Yeah. The only thing that I can do as a parent, I can't, say, you can use it, but use it in moderation. Yeah. 7-year-old's not going to do something like that. Yeah. The only thing I do is just say no. And sometimes in the beginning it was like there was a surprisingly little amount of pushback from them, and that's something I'll say. I think I wonder if there's more of the fear of the pushback is more than the pushback from kids.
I think. Also, starting early is important. True. Like if you're giving in, and then you're like, no, you can't have your own phone, but you've been using my phone forever.
Yeah, exactly. We've never done that.
Too late.
Yeah, no, we've never done that either. So this is my phone. This is my wife's phone.
Man, I was looking at my. I was hanging out with my nephew and niece.
Yeah,
and they were playing some game on. I don't know, my brother's phone or something. Yeah. And it was a free game.
Yeah.
But then there's ads.
Yes.
And those ads, dude, I was sitting there watching. I'm like, oh my God. This is a casino for children.
Yes.
And it is teaching them that when you succeed, when you clear a level,
instant gratification,
you get the ad for the casino.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible fucking lesson. When you are good at something, that's your reward. When you clear whatever the quest is.
You get to spin the wheel.
Here's
a
casino. Spin the thing. Your hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh my God.
But this is the thing.
Yeah.
And this is again, I've thought a lot about the whole happiness question.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because the more impressions you have on in your life, and from screens, from stress, from things happening, generally there's a strong correlation with happiness and impressions, right? So the less impressions you have in your life, the more likely you are to be able to think, process, and be happy, or not be happy, but just be content, because you're not constantly seeking this new. So if you give a 7-year-old 4,000 impressions a minute through a mobile phone and flashing hearts and sounds and dings and wins and rewards, how the hell are they going to appreciate going for a walk in the woods?
Yeah,
this is just not the same.
It's impossible.
It's like eating broccoli when you could have McDonald's. It's just.
I saw a crazy stat about that recently, that I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but I think I messed it up, that the average 7 or 8 year old, I don't remember what the age was, has seen more advertisements than a full grown, like an entire life 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Or not 100 years
I was going to say less than 100.
Yeah.
Probably 40 years
ago. The 50s, 40s, 50s, I don't remember. Yeah. Damn it, I'm messing up again. I need to look into this because
come on, man. This is a professional show, goddammit.
I'm sharing misinformation.
Yeah, look at you.
I could be taken down from Spotify for
exactly. No. Joe Rogan's still going.
Yeah. No, but I don't remember if it was ads or just information or impressions.
Yeah,
but
wild.
It was something that like a 7-year-old today has seen more on average than an entire life just a few decades ago.
Not surprised. And it's crazy. It's crazy. No, we're not built for it. I mean, we will eventually be adapted to it. But I, as someone who believes in evolution,
idiot.
No. What about that book? Anyway, I'm someone who believes in evolution. I think it's far too early for us to actually be able to process this. And the statistics speak for themselves, man. I mean, everyone's depressed, everyone's burnt out, everyone's unhappy. Not everyone. Again, massive generalization, but the trend is there. Yeah. And the thing that broke it for me, because I went through this, like I'm susceptible like any other human being. I was absolutely caught in that trap, 110%. And I went through a really, really stressful period. I was working a lot. I was focusing all my intentions on next promotion, next step, do this, work, obsessing about the grind, glamorizing how many hours I'm working, and just spending then my nights on Instagram scrolling because I'm trying to sort of reclaim, that my favorite phrase of the 21st century is that reverse bedtime procrastination. Have you heard about that?
Bedtime procrastination.
Oh, it's beautiful. Reverse bedtime procrastination.
Okay.
So like basically if you're super busy, you kind of want to get... Is it reverse or revenge bedtime crash? Oh my God! Now I'm spreading disinformation.
Oh, no.
Look what you did to me. Anyway, it might be revenge.
From YouTube and Spotify for this.
It's one of them. Google it. Come on, I'm not an expert, but I mean it's it's really interesting because it's basically about like reclaiming your evening by staying up super late and not going to sleep because you want to have some time to yourself because life is so fucking busy nowadays. So it's like this procrastination. It might be revenge bedtime. That sounds way better. Yeah. Anyway, one of the two, and it's wild because I was in that cycle so deep. I would stay up until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning,
just
scrolling, and not realizing it either.
Yeah.
And then instead of actually getting sleep, which is apparently good for you.
They say that.
The science people say that. I don't know. Anyway. Less about that, more about the
science
book.
Is not settled.
Right, exactly. Actually, I think in the world of science, that is probably the one thing people can agree on.
Yeah.
Is that sleep equals good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sleep equals bad.
Yeah.
See, scientist.
Nice.
Yeah.
We are two experts, clearly having a conversation here.
Exactly.
But sleep is good. I'm generally for sleep. Sleep is safe and effective.
See, we're giving advice that could change people's lives.
Totally.
No one's ever heard this before.
No,
ever.
No. Okay, I'm happy that you're doing better. So you're not doing the revenge procrastination, sleep procrastination.
Exactly.
Good.
I'm out of that cycle, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm human, so every now and then I'm like, I'm going to treat myself to 3 hours of scrolling Instagram.
Oh no,
that's awful.
I have a zero scrolling policy.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I can use Instagram because I use it for the podcast and stuff like that. But zero scrolling. I can't do any.
That's amazing.
Like the reels, especially. Like stay away from the no scrolling.
So ironically, this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Is how in God's green earth do? Sorry, the irony. How do you stop using Instagram? Because for me, I'm very much an all or nothing kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm all in or I'm all out. I don't really have a middle ground.
Okay.
And that's both fantastic in some ways and an absolute curse in other ways.
Yeah.
But like for Instagram, I had probably my happiest period. It was like a year ago where I didn't use Instagram, and it was glorious, absolutely glorious. But then I started a podcast and needed to actually promote it and do work on it, and then so I re-downloaded it, and then I only had the the work account on there, and then I was like, man, I'll put the private one on there as well. I mean, not going to use it. And then a month goes by and you're like, do you know what? It's actually quite interesting. I'm going to start, there's some funny videos. I'm going to start looking a little bit. And you slowly start falling down the slippery slope because, damn, those people over there at Instagram, they're good, man. Yeah. They're good. They know what they're doing. They know how to get you in.
Yeah, 100%.
That's their job, right? And
crack is also great.
Right, exactly. So they say.
Yeah, that's why you should stay away from it.
Right, exactly.
Because it's great. You're going to love it. You're going to love the shit out of crack, so
don't do
better
it.
Don't.
Exactly. No, but it's true. And then, now I'm definitely at the point where I'm kind of like, okay, is it time to go cold turkey and quit Instagram again?
I mean, for me, it works to just have a no scrolling
but
policy.
That doesn't work for me. Come on. Give me some advice.
I don't know, man. I have a time limit on my Instagram, 45 minutes per day.
Tried that.
Well, fucking get some discipline. What can I give you?
But this is it. So, okay, this is definitely leading questions now.
Yes.
And I'm leading you to the point of the topic that I want to get to. And that is, it's called delayed happiness, right?
Yeah.
And going back to how we started the conversation about, how are you at the moment? Yeah, I'm actually happy because I'm starting to learn that deferred happiness is much better than instant current happiness that you get straight away. You need to suffer to actually enjoy happiness, or to enjoy the reward. You need to suffer to enjoy the reward.
It becomes more enjoyable if you suffer.
Exactly, and
you work hard for it.
Yes, exactly. And this is sort of where I'm having a challenge to decide what to do, because I'm like, okay, I know that going cold turkey, quitting it, deleting the app, that works for me, but then comes the reward at the end of it, because then I'm like, I haven't done it for 6 months. Let me open it up. So what I'm trying to figure out is that little medium ground between, as you say, set yourself a time limit or blah, 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 or not. But can you do that with Instagram and these kind of apps that are built and designed to captivate you and keep you?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Can you stay away from crack?
I mean, a couple of weeks.
Maybe after you tried crack, it's hard.
Exactly, that's the thing. just for the record, people, I've not tried crack like Yoshi's insinuating. But,
I'm just giving out a hypothetical here. No, but it's great. Instagram is great. That's why it's so dangerous. It's so easy to use and so fun
and I haven't even got to like the boss level, which is TikTok.
I can't do
that's even better. Like at captivating.
I have that on a separate phone for my podcast promotion.
No, I'm too scared to download it.
I'm just dumping, the materials on there and then staying away from it.
This is the thing. We're talking about it like it's a weapon, and it is a weapon.
It is. It is probably the best information weapon of all time. Right. TikTok.
China's one.
I mean, whoever is controlling it is it's genius. It's genius.
It's so clever.
It's so smart.
I've heard so many interesting theories, call them conspiracy theories, if you will.
Sure.
About
we're already banned for our misinformation, so
exactly.
Go ahead.
Fuck it, let's keep digging. No, but it's I mean, of course, dumbing down the population of the world's superpower that benefits quite a few people, right?
Here's the thing: why wouldn't they do that?
Right. And if we're stupid enough to go,
if I was controlling TikTok and I was in some kind of war with another country,
a silent war.
I would do it. Why not? It's the best information weapon of all time. Like, how could you not use it?
Yeah, we're getting dangerously off topic. Let's go back to feet pics.
Feet pics.
No, I'm joking. We're talking about weaponized social weaponized
You just gotta have
warfare.
more discipline, man.
Yeah, I know.
You just gotta have more discipline.
I do.
Be a man. Do the right thing.
Now you're definitely cancelled.
It's a show. It's what's his name? It's Russell Peters.
Yeah, no.
You haven't seen
You
it.
actually lost me.
Anyways, that really sounded like I'm making fun of the Chinese, right? I did not even think of that. That's fantastic.
This bit might need to be edited out.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. We'll be fine. No, it's a Russell Peters bit.
Yeah, I believe you.
But he is mocking the Chinese in that bit, so there you go.
So basically,
anyways, two white guys sitting here talking. Let's have fun.
Right.
We have. You just need more discipline.
Yeah.
You just need to. not let yourself go all in when you have that.
I wish I had an adult in my life who just took my phone away from me. That'd be so much easier.
Okay. Well, can't your wife do that?
No, because then the dynamics of the relationship are screwed. Totally fucking ruined. Don't get me wrong, she's tried. Absolutely. But no, you're right. I do. And like I say, I'm exaggerating the problem, but it's definitely something that you're kind of weary of, is falling down that slope, because I say right now it's nothing compared to my past, my checkered Instagram scrolling past. But no, I think I'm in recovery. I'm getting there.
It's so true, man.
But this is the thing. I'm a middle-aged, middle-class white guy. These are my problems.
Yeah.
This is the biggest burden in my life now, is how much time I spend on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. We're living great life. Right.
Here's the like funny thing about all this like crazy shit that's going on in the world. The crazier the world gets, the more happy I am about what life I've lived.
But that's interesting, because usually it's the opposite, right?
I guess.
But and it comes to this very important point called agency. Agency is control, like how much control you have. Now, I'm a big believer into assuming that I have more control over my life than I actually do. Because if I put my sort of both my wins and my losses in the hands of somebody else, then what's the point? Yeah. you need to accept, your wins for your wins and congratulate yourself for those, and your losses for your losses and learn from those. So I think having this kind of opinion or belief that you are affecting your status is important. And I think that's something that agenda's not being communicated at the moment. It's very much, there's a lot of, now we're going slippery slope, victim mentality. Oh, yeah. Right? And again, understand and recognize I'm sitting here as a middle-aged, middle-class white guy, pretty much
cream of the crop.
Pretty much the best starting position on the racetrack that you could get in, right? I mean, let's be honest.
It's not guaranteed, but sure.
No, of course, it's not guaranteed. That's exactly the thing. It's not guaranteed. Because if I was a fuck-up, I would still be a fuck-up, no matter if I'm a white male. So, but I definitely have a head start, sure. But I need to have the belief that I can affect my position in life, my happiness, my outcome, all those kind of things. Because if I just assume that, okay, no, I am born in, I grew up in a really bad part of South Africa. Oh, I could have just stayed there and absolutely not succeeded in as well as I have now. And I'm not saying this is not me. I didn't move at 9 years old from South Africa to England. My parents did. So, you get that help and that. But you have to then understand that it's you kind of the cliche, the master of your own destiny kind of, and I hate those cliches, but they're there for a reason. If you believe that you have control over your outcome, you're going to be happier. If you believe that it's somebody else's fault, you're going to be sadder. That's clinically proven by scientists and people who actually know what they're talking about.
But a whole lot of stuff is just pure luck.
Yeah, for sure. My God.
Completely out of your control.
Absolutely.
So that is what gives me, like, what I said earlier. The crazier the world gets, the more happy I am with the life I've lived. Because this period of time, like Sweden, I came to Sweden in 94. I was born in Yugoslavia. So just that, like getting out of the Civil War, that great start. But Sweden from 94 to whatever now, 2024, these 30 years. I mean, is there a better time in history and place to have been alive? I don't think so.
I don't know. If
pure luck. I could have died in Yugoslavia trying to get out. Right. Like, and people born here, pure luck.
Absolutely.
That sperm won the race.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
Exactly.
And it's just like, how can you not enjoy and be happy for this amazing gift that you've been given to been living in the best time and place of all time.
That's also it, enjoying the journey. It's, again, super cliche, but you have to. Otherwise, what is the point? Like, what's the point?
And it sucks that it's not like that everywhere.
Nope.
And we should all do what we can to help more of the world be this great. But, man, like you said,
but
take the W. Like, Jesus,
exactly,
this is great.
Enjoy it, and also like there's a risk I see in my friends around me, and I've been there myself as well, where you burden yourself with the what's the word I'm looking for? The
like guilt?
No,
because it's
the guilt
so
of more so that the oh wow, I'm losing the ability to speak English.
I'll stop you.
Irony.
Whenever I tell people, or most of the time when I tell Swedes that I came from war, they're like, oh, that makes me feel so guilty because my life has been so easy. I'm like, why are you feeling guilty?
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's great. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I know. And
that's exactly how everyone should live, like fucking Sweden in the past 30 years. Yeah. That's how the world should be, and we just need to get there.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty about that. It's great.
But that's the thing. There's so much.
Go out there and spread democracy.
Spread capitalism, people. No,
that last part was a joke. I mean, spread democracy. Just don't do it the U.S. way.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it
the English way.
Yeah. Well.
No, we gotta check it.
I'd argue you guys did a better job, at least for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
No, but if you look at the news,
don't.
First of all, don't. What the fuck are you doing? Turn it off. Get back under the covers and just
go out in the woods. Have you not been listening?
Come on, people. No, but honestly, if you read the news, you will know that the world is a pretty fucked up place at the moment. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are struggling with the burden of carrying the weight of other people's challenges and problems. And what I mean by that is, of course, you should be educated. You should understand what is happening, both to appreciate what you have, but also to then, say, if you're in a position, try and help.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like basic human like need, as well as a right, because we need to help people. We need to be able to feel like we're making a difference. That's the meaning.
Not just that, even out of selfish reasons.
That's what I mean. No, I'm talking purely the selfish reasons.
Okay.
I like, and this sounds awful, but we need to help people to feel good about ourselves.
Not just that, just for our safety and security.
Sure. Yeah.
If shit blows up over there, it's just a matter of time before it blows up over here.
True.
So even if you're a dick and you hate everyone else, you should work against war because it spreads.
Exactly.
So yeah,
it's quite contagious.
Yeah.
But the challenge now is that you're so bombarded by information. Going back to the information, look at this, us coming full circle.
Yeah,
we're so pro. You're getting bombarded by information of all these atrocities in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're human, like we're emotional creatures.
Yeah.
There's only so much of that we can receive until it starts to negatively impact us. And if you're consuming all these atrocities day in, day out, all the time, of course, naturally, your natural standpoint is going to shift towards despair and borderline depression and kind of like almost like, what's the point?
Yeah.
There's so much shit in the world. Instead, in a weird way, it should teach us to be super happy for what we have and try and, help other people. But it teaches us to kind of just feel like the world is a terrible place. And that's why there's these, I think you and I have talked about these books like Progress, where you talk about everything that is actually way better now than ever has been. But the news is 24/7 now.
The news is 24/7 and it's global.
Yes.
There's always shit going on somewhere.
Always.
We were made to know 150 people around us.
Right.
And
your tribe, right?
Our immediate surroundings.
Yeah.
And, sometimes there's drama, sometimes everything's great. Now, obviously, there is always drama somewhere with 8.5 billion people or whatever it is. You're always going to find something that's insane and newsworthy.
Yeah.
So,
no, but I learned this during the COVID pandemic period because I, like for my job, I was sort of really felt the need to be up to speed with what was happening because in case I had to close businesses or locations around the world, and I had to be at the point of what was going on. That's what I was telling myself.
Yeah.
What I actually did was just consuming so much news.
Fear porn.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The worst type of porn.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, scrap that. There's
worse.
There's probably worse. Yeah.
Fear porn is pretty bad.
It is. It's definitely bad for you because I was constantly refreshing the fucking Guardian's live feed on how many people had died and which country it's gone to and all this stuff. And you get to the point where you're like, I'm not built for this. I'm an emotional guy. I talk about my feelings. I have many feelings. They're very much on my sleeve, out in the open. So for me, it's even more of an effect than like my dear friend Neil, who has no soul. But I love him. He's a lovely guy. But
is he a ginger?
No.
Oh.
No, just a grumpy old man. He's brilliant though.
Okay.
But yeah, he's not as affected by these kind of things. So he can consume that news and just be like, okay. And I know myself.
I'm the same.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I'm not a grumpy old man though, but
No,
when it comes to that stuff, it's just like water off a duck's ass.
Yeah. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, I need to help these people.
Which is not true. I care. But I don't know. I just know how fucked up the world is.
Exactly.
I think it's because I came from war.
Ah, true.
Yeah. So I've never had any illusions about how the world works. Yeah. I've always known people lived side by side in Yugoslavia. Different religions, ethnicities. Not everything was fine and dandy, but people were living their lives.
I remember your dad's episode.
Yeah.
Was it your first podcast?
Yeah.
And he was talking about the OG Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
And it sounded like heaven on earth.
It was good. I mean, obviously there were issues. Yeah. There was no proper democracy and stuff like that. But people were living, in peace. And then genocide.
Right.
Wow. So fast.
That was a transition I wasn't expecting.
So fast. And it's like, holy shit. And I've heard those stories since I was a kid.
Right.
People got armed during the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And suddenly they started shooting their neighbors. I'm like, holy fuck.
Oh, shit.
So I guess because I've never had any illusions, I'm less affected by that kind of stuff.
I'm sure it's part of it, but I also think it's massively about your personality. And how much
probably
certain people can take on emotional baggage and still keep going, and certain people can't. Everyone has a different threshold, I believe. I know that my threshold for this kind of information is low. So I know that if I start watching, I stay up to date, of course, but if I start watching all this imagery and all these reports from Palestine, for example. That's going to put me in a hole. Yeah. And that's not good for me. It's not good for my kids. It's not good for people around me. Yeah. So I know that for me, and I'm not saying this is what everyone should do, but for me, I know that I need to limit my intake of this information to be a person that can actually be, a good dad.
Yeah, you have responsibilities.
Yes, and a good friend and a good coworker as well. Because I'm very self-aware of my deficiencies.
Question.
Yes.
How can you succeed in this but can't succeed with the Instagram?
Oh my God, I'm getting there.
Is it because of the hot chicks on Instagram?
No, it's because of wanting to win the fantasy basketball league and needing to get the stats and information.
Yeah,
that's a whole different project. We should do a different podcast about our league.
We can't do the fantasy stuff.
No, we can't.
We're gonna lose everyone.
Right, exactly.
Also, this is probably coming out in a few weeks, and we don't know where you're at in the rankings.
Right, I was number one.
You were number one. By the time this comes out, maybe you're number one again. So we'll just pretend. Thanks, you're almost there. You've almost won the league.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
This feels great. No, but yeah, no, it's interesting because I think it's because the effects of consuming this information, and I've seen it happen to me. I know what the effect is, and it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Whereas the effects of scrolling Instagram too much, not super obvious in the short term. I think this
you get the dopamine kick.
You get the dopamine. Yeah. You don't get dopamine from watching the news. You get the dopamine from
it drains you from dopamine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Does.
So it's it's the dopamine here.
You really need to stay away from crack.
I think that's the sort of conclusion we can draw from this podcast.
It would be very bad for you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that's fair. I'll take that on board. I'll take
Good. We have achieved what I came here to do.
Exactly.
Get Andy off crack.
Just say no, kids. Speaking of that, we used to, when I grew up in the concrete jungle of Fleet, Hampshire, we used to have these discos that were organised by the police called Snap. Yeah, I know. Called Snap, which is Say No and Phone. Was the sort of SNAP.
Like snitch?
Well, yeah. They didn't call them snitch discos. They called them snap discos.
No, but phone as in a verb.
Yes,
call in.
As in call in, as in snitches get stitches.
Say no and snitch. That's what they were saying. Snaz.
The irony was, at these discos, which was like from like 13 to 16-year-olds, there was more drugs there than most sort of normal parties. And the police were on the door, so it was like it didn't really quite work. But when you said, you just reminded me of and I haven't fallen down the crack route yet. So
that's good.
I'm pretty sure I'll be all right.
I hope so. Can never be too sure, though.
No, exactly.
I gotta do this intervention, man.
A pre-intervention, just in case.
So you mentioned your podcast. Last time you were on this show,
did I? What? I guess we'll have to talk about it.
Last time you were on this show, you couldn't talk about it because it was right at the beginning. You were not ready to get started. Yeah. Tell us about your podcast.
Oh my God! I mean, it was beyond all expectations.
What's it called?
It's called What the Fuck is Allsvenskan? And What the Fuck is Allsvenskan came about because I live here with my brother lives in Sweden. One of my best mates, Grumpy Neil, lives in Sweden. And we kind of miss football, Premier League, live football. We're massive football fans. I'm a football coach. I played football my whole life, etc., etc. And we wanted to start watching Allsvenskan, but had no Scooby of who's who and what's what is a Brommapoikina. I didn't know, so we started looking into it and we're like, it's kind of like it's hard to get into watching when you're used to watching the Premier League. It's like you're used to eating 5-star restaurant and
now you're sniffing farts out of a jar.
Is that your Allsvenskan like comparison? I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, not that I know, but
I just had to bring the farts back.
Exactly.
I don't know. Sorry about that.
Keep
going.
We're so mature.
You're used to eating 5-star, and
now we're eating Allsvenskan, and it's interesting because it's a massive difference. But along this journey, we started this to document us dumbass British people discovering this weird and wonderful world of Allsvenskan, Swedish football. And it was absolutely fallen in love with Swedish football. And I never thought that would happen. It's ridiculous.
Nice.
Now, we've been on some journey. We've done one season, right? Mm-hmm. So it's 1 year. I think we were up to like 30 episodes. And we, after like the halfway point, we got featured in an article in the Express about the rising interest in Allsvenskan from outside, from different countries around the world, mainly Europe. And that's because a lot of the leagues, the top leagues, are becoming very plastic, very boring. You know what's going to happen. There's so much money involved. It's lost its charm.
Right.
And Allsvenskan is definitely not. There's not a lot of money involved. It's definitely charming. There's all sorts of crazy, stupid things that happen, and it's glorious. It's absolutely glorious, Yoshi.
Is it?
Even you would love it.
Would I?
Give it a go, man.
Honestly,
just do what we do and watch like 8 football games a week.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. It kind of consumed us for a while.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and I learned so much, and we had a hell of a lot of fun doing it because, as you can tell, I don't take myself super seriously. So we have a bit of a laugh. We had a bit of fun, and we became the #1 sport podcast in Sweden over a short period of time. So that was good. Yeah, surprisingly. Blew my mind.
That's fantastic. So you watch a bunch of games, and then what do you do on the podcast?
Then we talk about them, Yoshi.
You talk about
it's really complicated stuff here. And I don't expect you to follow.
And
but we look at them.
Do you analyze the games?
Yeah, we do.
What do you do?
We definitely armchair critics, as we say. Like I say, all of us have a football background. We know a little bit what we're talking about, but we have no idea about how many Gustafssons there were in the Allsvenskan. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty good, to be fair.
Oh, yeah?
But so we analyze the games. We do stupid quizzes. We have a bit of a laugh. We pick our favorite players, our favorite moments. We talk about the stuff that you don't necessarily sort of read in Aftonbladet. You know, the stupid things that happen in a lower level league, and it's the 23rd ranked league in Europe, right?
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's that low.
It is bad.
How many countries are there in Europe?
Not many more. But it's not good. Yeah. Norway and Denmark much higher. Okay. So there are some interesting things that happen when it comes to. Obviously, the more money involved, the more slick everything is. Mm-hmm. And then also the main differentiator for me is that I get to actually watch the games.
Yeah.
You can't, I'd have to sell my child to get a ticket to see Arsenal play Tottenham. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. If it was Man City, Man United, maybe it would be worth it. But Arsenal, Tottenham?
That would be glorious right now. Anyway, asked me that 2 years ago. It was a different conversation. No, but and now I can pitch up pretty much any stadium, go to pretty much any game. Mm-hmm. You can actually afford to go to games here, and it's fun. And the crowds in Sweden are absolutely epic.
Oh yeah.
Say what you want about football, there's the football hooligans or that sort of fan culture. There's a lot of stigma towards it, rightfully so. Some of them are pricks. But the fan culture in Sweden, the singing, the chanting, the tifos, it's amazing. It's one of the best in Europe, and I've seen a lot of football, and to get to experience that on a week by week basis live is just phenomenal. So we started off as a bit of a joke, not a joke, but more like, this would be a laugh. Yeah, and now we're like
fun thing.
Absolutely in love with Allsvenskan.
Nice.
And looking forward to the new season.
That's awesome, man. So it grew pretty fast as well. Like it got way more listeners than you expected.
Way more listeners. We were sitting there with 3 idiots sitting in our bedroom. Like we record remotely.
Yeah.
Commenting about Swedish football. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was funny, but of course I'm a bit partial.
Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And we started getting thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners. It was ridiculous. I can't share numbers with you because we're talking to some sponsors at the moment, which should be fun. We'll see. Should be good. But thousands. And I thought
millions.
Sorry, let me inflate those numbers. Millions.
Are you listening, sponsors?
Exactly. Millions. Yeah. The number 1 podcast in Sweden.
It's impressive, man.
That was good. What a ride. And we got some awesome loyal fans. Nice. I don't know if you've started to get Yoshi fans yet, but they're brilliant.
There's like one.
Is it your mum?
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Well, we've got 3.
My dad is a pretty big fan. He comments on a lot of stuff.
Nice.
It's fun.
That's good. You got to get that support.
Yeah.
But it's been good. So we've got we had some unbelievable fan interactions. I've gone to matches with people that've just slid into our DMs and said, hey, I've got a ticket to Hammarby, Djurgården. Do you want to come? Fuck yeah, I'll come. And I just ended up. Went
awesome.
Up. Who are you? Oh, you're that guy. All right, cool.
Are you banging rupees yet?
No.
Okay, good.
No, not quite that level of fame.
I've heard you should stay away from that stuff. Though I wouldn't know because I don't even have the opportunity.
How do you even know what the word groupie means?
I'm really good at staying away from them.
By choice? Yeah. Yeah, by choice.
I'm just staying away from them. Let's keep it at that.
Yes. Well done. No, it's been great. And, we've had all sorts. I was walking down the road wearing, we have our logo on a hoodie. And some guy cycled past and was like, I love your podcast. And I was like,
nice.
Thank you, man.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, Mama, I made it.
You did?
Yeah. And now I'm here as well.
That's super cool. How has the fame changed you?
Oh, my God. Well, I don't take the pedal talk anymore.
You don't take the pedal talk
it's
anymore.
only taxis. Only taxis. No, I'm kidding.
Clearly.
I'm kidding. No, it's the only thing that's changed is that I now have a lot more work to do in my daily life, which I'm also great at. I'm great at finding more stuff to fill up my life. It's hella fun. It's hella fun. That's
the have fun part.
Yes. Yeah. And this is also the sort of satisfaction and sort of, I wouldn't say meaning, but it's more... It's genuinely enjoyable, and enjoyment, like I said earlier, not to be confused with pleasure. Enjoyment is with friends and creating memories, and that's what we're doing. I'm with one of my best mates and my brother, and we're watching football, talking shit. We actually spend way more time together now that we have this podcast, Because before, life's busy. You don't prioritize relationships, unfortunately. It's just, you kind of, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but I have a few people in my sort of inner circle that I create time for. And then the other people who I love dearly, but I don't have time. So I don't have time. I don't create time. Yeah. But this gives you an excuse to create time for people you want to be around.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
Exactly.
This podcast is like the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Exactly.
It's so great.
And also, as a white middle-aged male, this is our God-given right. I'll go. Sorry, but it's just, I love stereotypes. They make me laugh, and we're walking, talking stereotypes, and it is glorious. I'm all for it. I don't care. Yeah.
No, you're gonna make me pull the immigrant card on you soon.
Oh yeah, true.
Quit lumping me in with your privilege, man.
I'll be like, you look white.
Did you miss the part where I escaped the genocide?
Right, exactly.
Jesus. No, I hate doing that. It's disgusting. I hate the victim cards.
Yeah. I know.
Anyways, it's a life hack to just do something as a hobby that gives you more of what you enjoy in life.
Yes.
For me, it's deep conversations with random people, and for you, it's watching football, talking about football with your friends. I mean,
and
why not?
It's amazing. And it's also a great way
and it gives other people pleasure, which is the coolest fucking part.
That's the part that surprised me, because I knew I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I love the sound of my own voice. Of course I'm going to like this. This is great.
Everyone loves the sound of your voice. You're going to do the porn novels, remember?
No, don't be silly. No, but also it's a great excuse, to actually just go and interact and be with people. And I think that's the best part of it. And we met a lot of fun people as well, like just randoms that popped up into our lives. We got this guy called Tommy the Finn, who we've nicknamed him Tommy the Finn. His name's Tommy. We think he's from Finland. He has quite a Finnish sounding name.
Okay.
This guy is a legend. He writes to us every week. We have banter with him every week. I don't know this guy. I couldn't pick him out in a lineup for the street, but he's one of the people I converse with most in my life right now.
Really?
He's probably ahead of my wife in terms of how many messages we send to each other. And I'd never have met Tommy the Finn, at least digitally, and it seems like a great dude, hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you meet good people.
Shout out to Tommy the Finn.
Shout out to Tommy the Finn.
No, it's crazy. It's the same for me. Like I started this because I want to have more conversations.
Yeah.
And when people enjoy it, it's really I'm like blushing. I don't even know what to say about it because it's crazy to me. Yeah. I'm sitting here talking shit with you because I love doing it, and then people are like, "Oh, that was fun. This episode was great," or whatever. People send me like quotes from the episodes, and I'm laughing and shit. I'm like, this is amazing.
But it's nice. And I swear to you, and I think I've told you this before, that, I don't know, it must have been 10 years ago, I was sitting in a pub with my friends and going, we're having such a laugh. I'm like, this would be really funny to listen to.
Yeah.
And this is sort of before podcasting became a thing. So basically what I'm saying is I invented podcasting in a pub in England somewhere, just without the recording and the, all that kind of microphones. And
you just didn't do shit.
Basically, we were just
talking.
Exactly. No, but it is in the era that we're living in, there's so much less physical, verbal human interaction. Right, a lot of it is typing messages.
Yes.
There's misconstrued, innuendos and double entendres and stuff that doesn't come across in a text message per se. Whereas I would much prefer to sit face to face with somebody, see their body language, facial expressions. You play off that as well. I don't like texting. It's just something I don't enjoy, and it annoys the shit out of people around me because I'll just call them.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm sorry, world, but I will call you. I won't text you. Yeah. And it annoys the crap out of people I work with as well, because I could send them a message on Teams, but I'm like, no, I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just a much
fucking
better form.
Dinosaur.
I know, exactly. Boomer. But that's the thing. And
walking in the woods and shit. Who are you, man?
I don't know anymore. I don't know. No, but it's such and one thing I definitely learned from COVID is how much I need human interaction.
Same here.
And that's why I work in retail. I work in brick and mortar retail in that industry, right? And everyone is always concerned with, is retail going to die out because of online? Sure, absolutely. The pie is a lot smaller, but people crave human interaction, whether we like it or not. We are hardwired to need and want human interaction. And, after COVID, there was a boom of retail because everyone's like, oh my God, I get to go out and see people again. And yeah, of course, it's calmed down a little bit now, but the need will always be there.
For sure.
Now it'll be less of a need, but it'll always be there. Like, it's not the same for me hanging out with someone digitally, like having the Zoom call era of COVID. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
My God. What? I mean, it worked at the time.
I was working from home most of the time, even before COVID. So for me, it was like, I was fine with it.
You were already there.
But I have a rich, like, social life outside of work. So I never work. I've been working from home most of the last 6 years.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the social life being moved to Zoom. Not the work life.
Fuck that.
Yeah, but that was it. Like, I mean, not necessarily in Sweden. Well, Sweden, we bent the rules a little bit here, but all my friends in the UK.
No, we followed the rules in Sweden.
We made our own rules.
No. We followed the rules in our constitution. Yeah. Which is why lockdowns didn't happen in Sweden.
Exactly.
So we followed the rules.
And it was fucking brilliant.
And everyone else can go themselves.
Sorry, have I hit a sensitive subject or?
People were locked in their homes for months.
I know.
It's madness.
I know.
It's madness.
Oh,
I was talking to someone from Argentina. They had 8 weeks of lockdowns.
Yeah.
That's a sentence. That's what we do to bad people.
Exactly.
They put their whole country on fucking.
Yeah.
What's it called? I can't remember what the sentence is called when you have to stay at home.
Stay at home orders or whatever it was. Yeah.
It's called something else. I don't remember.
Fuck it.
Husarrest.
House arrest.
House arrest. Yes, that's what it's called.
No, but it's wild. No, but we need it. We need this human interaction, and it's such a. I think it's underappreciated because everything's becoming easier and more digital. And you've seen these idiots now walking around with the
Apple VR thing, AR thing.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
No, this is gonna make me sound really old, but I'll be rolling on my grave soon. I'm only 36, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that there's so much beauty around us in the world, especially if you live in Sweden and have the privilege and the ability to explore and go around and be here. It's magnificent. Mate, go out and look at the water for a bit. Yeah. It's stunning.
Yeah. The world is a beautiful place, man.
It is, surprisingly. Do you know what I mean? And we've been tricked into thinking it's this horrible, dark, scary place. And it is for some people, but when it's not for you, fucking enjoy that, because you're doing everybody else a disservice who doesn't get to experience what we experience by not enjoying what we're able to enjoy. And this is something my granddad said to me. My granddad, he lived with us for pretty much my whole life. He was blind. And, I remember very clearly sitting having conversations with him in his room, because he had a little room downstairs in our house. And I was, I don't know, early teenage years. And I remember sitting there thinking, I was like sitting with him talking, going, I feel so bad that you can't see. I feel like, I remember we were talking about a cricket game that he wanted to watch. And I was like, oh, no, I won't watch it as well. He's like, yes, you will. I'm like, no, I'll sit here with you. And he's like, no. You have eyes. You can see. Fucking go and watch the cricket. Because if you don't, it's frustrating for him. Because he was like, if I could, I would. And that stuck with me. I forgot about it for many years. And then I remembered. Oh, yeah. English is my first language, I swear. I remembered that actually this is super important. Yeah. This sort of guilt of we live in a great country, we have a good life. Yeah. And enjoy it. Enjoy it. Otherwise, is what's the point?
Yeah. Ricky Gervais has a great quote.
Yes. I think I know what you're going to say.
If you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing.
Exactly. Oh, I saw him in Stockholm.
Yeah, we saw him. Gee, thanks. I saved your ass.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I bought the tickets, and you were about to miss the damn show. I texted you 3 days before the show, like a GIF of Ricky.
That was the most confusing text I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
All right, for people listening to this, Yoshi just randomly sends me a GIF of Ricky Gervais.
Wait. Let's start at the beginning. We saw Ricky Gervais is coming to Stockholm like months in advance. I reach out to you. I'm like, you wanna go to the show? You're like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I buy tickets for you, me, and another friend. So that's where we start. And then apparently 3 days before the show,
random Tuesday or whatever it was, you sent me a GIF of Ricky Gervais. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. Fuck, Yoshi's losing it, man.
And I said, David and I are eating before the show. You want to join?
That was another one.
You're like, no.
I'm like, no, dude, I'm at home. I've got to feed my kids, man. I got responsibilities. I'm so confused.
And then David and I go eat. And then we go to Globen, whatever it's called now, Avicii Arena. And I text you, how's it going? And you're like, great.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck does this guy want from me?
And I call you. I'm like, are you on your way? It's like a pretty big line over here. Like, on my way where? I'm like, the show. What show? Ricky Gervais. Oh my God. I'm like, I've been texting you for the past 3 days about this show that I bought tickets for you to go see. And now you come to my podcast and you're like, oh, I saw Ricky in Stockholm. You forget how I saved your ass.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
That is the full circle moment.
That is fantastic.
Oh, Ricky. Yeah, anyway, I was at Ricky Gervais.
You definitely need to get off crack.
See what I mean? It's bad for you people.
Ricky Gervais, yeah, he was great.
He was great, and now I've totally forgotten what story I was going to tell, but he was fucking brilliant.
He was great.
And I very much appreciate
life.
Enjoy life
when you can. You were telling me the story about your granddad being blind. It's a, David Goggins.
Oh, that guy.
What it is.
Terminator.
He has. I don't remember. He's crazy.
He's.
But he gave me like. He talked about like when you're going to the gym or whatever, and you don't want to go.
Yep.
He's like, you know how many people would kill to be able to go to the gym? Like people that are hurt, people that can't go to the gym. You know how many people would kill? Yeah. You're like, oh fuck yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm going to the gym. And I love that attitude.
Yeah.
Like people would, give the rest of their life to be able to go out and just go for a run today.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Use your legs,
dude. We're gonna miss it.
Use your eyes if you have.
We're gonna miss it when we're old and unable to.
I just had the health scare. I told you about that.
Exactly.
I still can't properly go to the gym yet.
Oh God! See, now you're saying I have to go to the gym because you can't go to the gym.
Yeah, you do.
Fuck's sake!
Go use your eyes. I just went for a run today for the first time in 2 months. I'm like, so great.
So I don't have to go to the gym.
Yeah, you don't. You're fine. Yes. You're fine. But it's just a great attitude to have. Like,
I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, he's obviously the hyper extreme of that end. But it's true.
I wouldn't want to go full David Goggins.
Right? No. Nobody should go full David Goggins. Not even David Goggins should go full David Goggins. Insane. He's insane. But I mean, that mantra is amazing. Yeah. And I strongly believe in that. That you have to enjoy what you have. You cannot feel bad for the position that you've been born into. You can understand it and respect it and respect that you have it better. And
don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dick.
Don't tell other people like, why aren't you using your legs?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, why don't you have two cars?
Yeah.
Because I was born in somewhere
be aware of how lucky you are to be in the position you're in, if you are in a good position.
Exactly.
But be happy about it. Use it. Enjoy life.
And that's the thing. It's kind of got lost in translation a little bit there because there's so much new knowledge, if I can put it that way, of society and the constructs of society and how fair it is now, unfair it is. And it is like I think everyone's seen that YouTube video where you get a head start in life, right?
Right. Everyone who had two
parents take three steps forward. Yeah, exactly. And then you start, and it's like you still got to run the race, absolutely. And you can't just run backwards because you're still going to lose. You can't self-destruct. You still have to do what you can do and what is in your power. But appreciate where your privilege is and how far you've got as a head start in life.
Yeah.
But don't fucking just not enjoy stuff or feel bad for having stuff.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. It's actually quite a prevalent, maybe it's not an issue because there's worse things, but it's quite a prevalent feeling in society that I have friends who don't share when they go on holiday because they feel like they're rubbing it in for people who can't afford to go on holiday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. I mean, social media has kind of amplified this. Yes. So I get it. You don't want to be that guy. It's like, look how good my life is, because those people are generally the most unhappy. Sidebar. But when you don't need to share and tell everybody how great everything is, but when you're experiencing it, fucking enjoy it.
Yes.
And that's something that is, I'm trying to live by.
Good.
So go me.
Yeah, you're great.
I'm amazing. Do you know what?
Perfect parent, successful podcast host.
Right.
I mean...
Yeah, I've got it all figured out, guys. The voice. I've got it all figured out. Trust me.
Just need to get off the crack, bro.
That's it. Everyone has to have like something.
You gotta have something.
Mine just
even
happens
the
to be...
sun has its dark spots or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. See, so wise.
I want to ask you about something.
Yes.
You were talking about sponsorships. Do you guys run any ads?
No. We don't. And number one, I hate ads.
Yes.
Which is kind of
Me too.
a problem if you're trying to monetize something, because that's pretty much the only way. So what we're trying to do is get a bit creative with the advertising so it doesn't affect the listening.
Yeah, good.
So it's a bit more like awards and segment naming and stuff like that becomes a recurring theme rather than listening to me say, do you know what? Dressman has all the clothes you could ever want in the world. Sorry, Dressman. Not a knock on Dressman. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my mind. But anyway.
Is that who you're negotiating with?
No, it's not, unfortunately. But if you're listening, Dressman, just give us a call.
Yeah, you heard the quality of ad you can provide. Exactly. I'm sure Dressman are just...
I really sold it.
You might already have a message from Dressman on your phone.
Yeah, I sold it.
I also hate ads.
Yeah.
And especially in this kind of podcast.
Yeah.
Conversation, like long form conversation, to just have some ads in the middle.
And read-in ads, they're the worst.
Yes.
Because nobody believes that.
Or even like there's these dynamic ads, whatever, and they just plug in whatever.
Yeah.
But someone recently that I met recently told me, like, I mean, it's free money.
Yeah.
And like your old episodes can still be generating an income, and you're getting money. I'm like, if I'm doing this anyway, should I?
But this is the thing. I mean, do it for my kids, Yoshi.
For your kids?
Yeah. You don't have any. So monetize this podcast for my children's future.
Okay.
That is my suggestion.
Yeah, they're not getting shit. Fuck. This is mine.
I tried.
But I'm against... I don't want to ruin my podcast with ads.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a fine line. Because we know people listen to our show, and one of the things they love the most, which I don't think this is a great indictment on our show, but they're like, "Oh, you guys don't have any adverts. That makes it amazing."
Yeah,
and I mean, I totally agree, because that is one of the best parts of our podcast is that you don't have to listen to somebody trying to sell you something the entire time. It's just like, why? Like,
okay, good. You convinced me. I'm not doing the ads.
Yes, you're welcome, people.
This drops in a few weeks. How ironic would it be if there's like an ad cut in this episode?
If there is, Yoshi has sold his soul. If there isn't, we've won.
I don't want to do it. I want to use the podcast as a PR tool or a promotion tool for my other businesses.
Yeah. Because I mean, let's be realistic. You still need to get what's yours. You still need to
I need to make money.
You need to make money. It's a basic human need.
Yes,
so advertising is a necessity.
All I care about. It's great.
Go money. Yeah.
No, but I produce podcasts for others. As a way to make money.
Yeah.
So why not use my podcast as a promotion for what I can do for others? That makes sense.
The money makes the world go round,
so
unfortunately.
I'm hoping I can do that and not sully my podcast with ads.
That's the trick. That's the fine line. There's
but then
a couple
someone
of people...
says something like that. Like if you're doing this work anyway, and it can generate money for you. Why not let it generate money for
creative.
you? It's a good argument.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I wanted to ask you what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah, no. So I'll give you a little insight into what we're going to do. So, for example, we have segments on our podcast, which is like, we have our biggest takeaways from the week, or we have a thing at the end of our podcast called the Allsvenskan stock market, where we sort of buy low, sell high, using our massive financial knowledge, and converting that into Allsvenskan stocks. So we buy stocks in players that we think are going to play well. These stocks aren't real, and not a financial advisor, just so you know. So it's quite a funny segment. It's great fun. So naming that after a company is less disruptive to a listener's listening than talking for 15 seconds about a company. And
that makes total sense for a show like What the Fuck is Allsvenskan?
Yeah.
It doesn't for this.
Nope.
Because I'm not going to be like,
now we're going to talk for you.
Now we're in the Farts in Jars segment sponsored by
OnlyFans, feetfinders.com or whatever it is.
Would you take a sponsorship deal with OnlyFans?
Oh, 100%.
You would?
Yeah.
They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have any like moral issues with that?
So I very much believe in people freedom of choice. What you choose to do is what you choose to do. I don't care.
Fair enough.
Now, there is obviously a dark side to these kind of things, but I don't know. If I worry about the dark side of everything, Yoshi, I'm going to be worried about everything. Everything has a dark side. Literally everything.
So if a weapons manufacturer came to you,
but that's
like,
too obvious.
We want to do the stock segment.
How much are they paying us? No,
a lot.
No,
they're making big bucks right now.
No, I can't. No, I can't do that. Because I have some moral compass. That's for sure. No, but like, I mean, obviously when it's I know that was an extreme example, but when it's a clearly wrong message, then absolutely. And now I'm thinking, I've just literally had a little voice go in my head going, oh, okay, do you want your kids to be aware of OnlyFans? Oh, no, now you're making me question everything.
That's the thing. Because we were talking about Instagram earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have that kind of conversation about Instagram...
I'm second-guessing everything now.
Yeah.
I need to see the contract first. Got to put food on the table. No, I'm joking.
They don't give you any money. You just get all the foot pics for free.
No, not about that life.
Feet?
No, not for me.
Do you have any fetishes?
Fetishes? Yeah, I do. Going out to walking in the woods and looking. No, I'm joking. That's not a fetish, but it's I think I'm weirdly boring in that sense, which is ironic because my personality type is quite extrovert. So, but then I have a theory.
Go ahead.
That it's not the extroverts that are weird; it's the introverts.
Oh yeah.
So my theory, based on my own experience and nothing else,
the quiet ones are the wildest.
Right. Exactly. and that can be taken in so many ways. But
feel free to do that whatever you want.
Yeah, you guys take that information and run with it. But no, I think I got nothing. Unfortunately, right. No news to drop.
I mean, we're already banned from Spotify and YouTube and all that.
What else can we be banned from?
Feel free. No one's listening at this point.
All right. I bought all those jars. I'm joking. Oh, no. Oh, God. Shake it off.
It's a very interesting fetish to be buying fart jars of fart.
Are we here again?
I mean, I'm just imagining,
it was my fault.
Like, what you... Because that's gotta be. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing,
please write in.
It's like, you know, getting a poster of your hero or whatever.
Yeah,
like or their autograph.
Yeah, except it disappears directly.
Yeah, but you get to inhale it.
Oh no!
I mean, that's what they do, right?
I don't know.
Or do they just keep it on a shelf? I don't know.
Why are you asking me like I'm an expert in this?
Well, clearly you're the expert in this area.
I read one article. All right.
If anyone is out there listening
who's bought farts in a jar,
bought farts in a jar, and knows what, or wants to tell us what you do with it.
Yeah, you will remain anonymous.
Andy's address is reach out, Yoshi's podcast or What the Fuck is Allsvenskan.
Yeah, that would be a weird message.
And tell us what you do with the farts.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know. I imagine you sniff them, but I guess some people just keep them as a collection. Like, this is...
You have too many questions about this.
It's fascinating. How is it not fascinating? Someone, a fucking grown person, goes onto a platform and is like, could you fart in a jar for me? I will give you money for this.
I've opened Pandora's box.
How is it not fascinating?
I've opened Pandora's box here, Yoshi. You're never gonna get to the bottom of this, are you?
I mean, if someone,
you're an investigative reporter,
just gives
right?
me an answer, I'll be.
Someone please answer him, so I don't have to have this conversation with.
I will be calling you.
Oh dear!
It's like the pyramids. It's a great mystery.
How did you transition?
I'm into mysteries.
But I don't know if that's really smooth or... Actually, no, let's keep going with the pyramids. Let's get
the pyramids are fascinating.
Right, what's your theory?
I think there has been a civilization that has been erased.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love this theory. I don't know what I believe, but I'm going to put my hat in the corner of I want that to be true.
Yes. Same here, but also the work of Graham Hancock, Randall Carson, the ancient apocalypse series on Netflix. I mean, it's very compelling. It's very compelling. It's not just the pyramids; it's a bunch of other structures as well. Yeah, it's very compelling.
Yeah,
the Younger Dryas impact theory.
The what?
The Younger Dryas impact theory. 12,800 years ago, I think it was. There was an impact, a bunch of, what do you call them? Meteors?
Yeah.
I always mix it up because one of them is like when they're up and one of them is when they're hit.
Oh, okay.
Meteors, comets, meteorites. I don't know. I think meteorites are when they're on the ground.
It sounds good.
Anyways, we got a bunch of those falling out the sky, and they probably caused like a mass extinction event. And there's ample evidence for this. Like a bunch of animals obviously died.
Yes. Yeah.
Ice Age started, flooding,
right.
A bunch of like hard evidence. Yeah. And the theory is there was an advanced civilization that got wiped out.
Please be true.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, maybe that guy who wrote that book all those years ago is right. The Bible.
Oh, well, that's the cool thing. It dovetails into the Bible and a bunch of other stuff because not just the Bible, a bunch of ancient books talk about a massive flood.
Oh yeah, true.
And,
yes.
And the earth being on fire and these kind of things. And the theory is the people from the advanced civilizations that survived, they did what you and I would do if in case of if we survived an apocalypse, we would go to hunter-gatherers and be like, how the fuck do we survive?
Right.
I'm useless. Help me. So the survivors from these ancient civilizations that were advanced met like hunter-gatherer people, hunter-gatherers, and shared their knowledge of what was going on and rebooted like with the agricultural revolution that also came like 10,000 years ago, like after that. So it dovetails into the Bible and all of these stories because they actually survived the giant floods and the burning of the earth and all that stuff.
I want that to be true so badly.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, of course. Again, not an expert in this field in any way, shape, or form. Basically, the opposite of expert in this field. But I want it to be true, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna follow that path.
That's how most people do.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because it would explain a lot.
Yeah.
It would explain a hell of a lot, and it gives you also a little bit of hope that you're part of something bigger. Mm-hmm. Because I think, again, going back to this happiness theory, is that to believe that you're part of something bigger is, I mean, religion was such a reason for hope and meaning. Mm-hmm. Also, a lot of other things, but hope and meaning,
extras.
And that a little bit of a side business. But hope and meaning was not taken away, but was lost when people started discovering science and atheism.
Yes.
Also English first language. Started becoming atheists. you kind of lose that belonging, that sense of part of something bigger.
Yes.
And now I'm hoping that with, we stop concentrating our huge human intellect on how to keep people on TikTok and these virtual reality glasses, and actually figure out, is there something out there? Because that would be hella fun.
Like aliens?
Yeah, well,
or what do you mean?
Call them what you want, but like aliens or a civilization, like actual proof of a civilization before us, or an understanding as to how it went wrong, so maybe we don't make the same fucking mistakes, which it feels like we're about to do in the next 100 years.
It's tricky.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, man. But
it's great. It's something. It's nice to believe you're part of something bigger.
We are.
Well, yeah,
that's undeniable.
Sure, it's just nobody has any fucking clear idea what.
It's a giant rock spinning around a giant star.
Yeah.
How is that not enough? I don't get it. How is it not enough for people? How do people look at like 8.5 billion people on a rock going through nothing, spinning around like a gas giant that's keeping us all alive? How do people not look at that and go, oh, I'm part of something bigger?
Right.
How is that not enough? It's crazy. Nothing would be alive without the sun.
Yeah.
Nothing would be alive without Jupiter. Because Jupiter is so huge, it saved the Earth from a bunch of these meteors that otherwise would have never made life possible. Yeah. We're part of something bigger, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I've got hope again.
Every single particle in our body was created in a star that exploded somewhere. Like every heavy element in the universe was forged in a star that exploded.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning there was only like helium and what's H? Hydrogen, thank you. And then stars did their thing and then exploded and they made other shit. And that other shit is sitting here having a fucking conversation.
Oh, God.
How insane is that?
And that's what we're doing with all this star exploding magic. We're sitting here recording a podcast.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's glorious.
That to me, like, I've never needed God. How can you not look at this and go, wow,
right,
that is something bigger?
Yeah,
that is definitely something bigger than me.
It's tough. Have you ever had religion in your life?
No,
not from parents passed down. Anything?
Communists.
Oh yeah, okay.
Atheists.
all the good stuff.
Soulless people from Yugoslavia, who celebrated all of the festivities with their Muslim friends, with their Christian friends, with their Orthodox and Catholics.
But that's the thing, my granddad was really religious.
Your granddad?
Yeah, and he used to sort of not make us, but he used to want us to go to church. What the fuck did he know? I mean, he had to cling on to something, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. He wasn't always blind. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's so we used to, and then my mum's sister is very religious as well. Mm-hmm. So I've always had religion very close to me, but never been sort of pressured by family or anything to, been able to make my own choices, which my kids will also do. If my kids want to be religious, absolutely, that's their choice.
No phones.
Just no phones, right? Religion, good. Phones, bad. No,
yes.
No, maybe not. But I want them to be at an age where they can actually make the right decision, as with phones.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
It's always been a little bit close to me, but it's never pulled me in. It's never been. I need answers. I need to understand things before I can really believe them.
Yeah.
And that's both a blessing and a curse. And the blessing side of it is that I'm critical of what I read and I'm critical of what I listen to, and that can be frustrating sometimes because I'm a little bit hard to convince on certain things.
Yeah.
But religion, I've never really bought into it. And I have friends who are Muslim, Christian, Jewish around me. And it's never changed anything, but I've never been drawn into that. So I'm trying to figure out what it is that draws people into religion. And I don't know.
Community.
Right. That's
the best part of religion, community.
So that's an annoyingly mature answer from you.
Thanks. It is an issue that we don't have anything replacing religious community.
So I'm going to make a weird transition now back to football.
Oh, I thought you were going to the jars again.
No, fuck no. No, but back to football. And people in England have joked for many years about football is a religion, and some of it is cult-like, absolutely. But it's the sense of belonging in that community that is. It's actually they've done so much research on how many your chances of living a long and healthy and happy life are directly impacted by the people around you and how many sort of close ties to community and stuff you have. And football is actually a really wonderful way of having something in common, having something always to talk about. One of my best mates, Neil, Grumpy Neil, we became friends because we were playing football on the same team, and we literally were doing training one day. First day, he was like, "Oh, you're English? Oh yeah, I'm English too. Okay, yeah. You like football? Yeah, I like football. Okay, let's be friends." And we've been friends ever since, based on that that interaction. Fantastic. It's ridiculous, but it's that kind of sense of belonging, that sense of in common. And we have totally the opposite teams. Our teams are biggest rivals, but we have that in common, and it's about these small things.
Yeah, that makes it even more fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I was reading something the other day about the fact that widowers survive they don't survive anywhere near they don't thrive as much as widows do. So widower is the man and widow is the female. So men who lose their wives die quicker than wives who lose their husband. And because men are generally have a smaller circle, and they have a smaller amount of people who they have deep relationships with. And this is really interesting because women tend to, after the husband dies, they can go on and live quite a happy a few years, depending on the age and blah, 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 of course, and their health. But they're much more prone to surviving and thriving the loss of a husband than the man is the loss of a woman, because there was some weird statistic. It was something along the lines of 60% of husbands over the age of 50 say that their best friend is their wife because they don't have a bigger circle, or their closest friend is their wife. And only 30% of wives say that.
I've literally heard the opposite.
Really?
Yes.
What? Now, this is
I've literally heard that on average, men have more close friends than women.
Wow. Okay. See, and this is an interesting topic, because I think you and I have talked about information overload before, and the fact that pretty much everything can be proved somewhere.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form. And this is where politics becomes confusing as hell. Yeah. Because no matter which, it depends on which side you're reading from, therefore your opinion is this.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. We need to get the stats out on this. We're not going to do it here, but we need to. But
yeah, I've heard the opposite. And
interesting.
From what I've seen in life, I would say so, yeah.
And that's weird, because I've seen exactly what has backed up my theory.
Oh, really?
And now this... Oh, not my theory,
but you're an immigrant.
Yes.
You came to Sweden pretty late.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
That limits the amount of friends you have here, probably. In comparison to your wife.
Yeah, actually, I would say no. I would say no. I would say, actually, and this is not a popularity contest, but I've got way more friends than my wife. I'm just a great guy. What can't I do?
Because you count her and your kids.
My wife, my best friend. No, but I think I need people in my wife's life in the way that she doesn't. So I think we're a little bit exception to the rule, sort of thing. Obviously, massive generalization.
You confirmed the rule that I.
Oh, I hate you. I knew you were going to say that, you bastard.
No, but I've heard the opposite, because there's more competition between women.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've had the opposite, and my reason. This is going to be an interesting test now. So. Explain your reasoning. I'll explain mine, and then let's see if the listeners decide which side they lean on.
From what I've heard, women, like 80% of women compete for 20% of the men.
Yeah, but that's romantic relationships.
Yes, but that makes their part of the game way more competitive than ours.
Yeah,
which is why. Like backstabbing, gossip, that kind of stuff is more prevalent among female groups of friends than male.
Okay, interesting.
Like, we're idiots. We fight one another.
Yeah, we're quite simple
but
creatures.
We don't really talk shit about our guy friends behind their back. Whereas, especially obviously in the teenage years and early 20s, that is very, very prevalent behavior.
Yeah.
in female groups, unfortunately.
So I wonder.
Very generalizing here, like of course. Since we're already banned on Spotify, and not all women.
She hates women.
Hashtag not all women. But yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Okay, so
almost all women.
So, yes. No, my theory is, well, the theory that I read is totally the opposite, and because men are generally, again, generalization, more to themselves, more happy in their own company, and the stereotypes of the lone wolf
that is
kind
true
of thing.
As well. Yeah.
And friendship circles, I would bet money on, if I put all my male friends together and counted up their friendship group versus all my female friends, even if we use the same amount and how big their friendship circle was, the female group would win. I think the emotional intelligence is much higher in women. The emotional need for interaction, sharing stuff that gets you to a deeper level of friendship is way more prevalent in women. And men, a lot of guys, I'm not that guy, but I know this. The stereotype of men is based on, it's a stereotype for a reason, right? So men don't share as much with their close friends. Right. I actively tried to change that by oversharing with all my friends. No, I'm joking. But actually, I'm not joking. That's a lie. I genuinely think it's a problem, but that's a whole different podcast. But women share a lot more, therefore they create deeper relationships. Therefore, and then when this theory says that then when the woman dies and the man becomes the widower, he then closes himself off and generally is by himself, and that lack of community and bond then leads to a quicker deterioration of health, etc., etc. So I hear you. I don't believe you.
Yeah, you could be completely right.
Yeah, or neither of us are
also,
right.
Also, at that
50-50.
At that point, it's a different game. Where what I was talking about was when people are competing for mates.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking about just when one person dies.
Yeah.
No, I'm going for totally the morbid route.
No, but at that point, they're not competing for mates.
Exactly.
It's a completely different thing. So
maybe we're both right.
Maybe we're both right.
Yay. Yay, I love it when everybody wins.
So, Andy,
not.
What is a woman?
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. We're not going there. We're not going there.
I thought you were serious for a second. I was like, what are you doing?
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, good.
So now you're a big superstar.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
With my few thousand listeners of a podcast.
Millions,
sorry.
Millions. Dress man.
Yes, dress man.
Now you're a big superstar.
Yeah.
And you're going to be an even bigger superstar.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Soon.
That is guaranteed.
What would you do differently if you were like a Ricky Gervais level superstar?
Oh, my God.
Like, what would you do with that?
Well, in terms of how I'd live my life?
Yeah.
That's hard. Because, I mean, okay,
What would you use your fame for?
Oh, no.
Other than banging groupies.
No. I'm a happily married man, Yoshi. Come on.
The crack.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can answer that. And I know that's a bit of a shit answer, but I think everything in life is so relative to your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult to. That's why I don't think anybody can take a decision for anybody else, because it's all relative. Your feelings, your emotions, how you receive information is all different. What you do with information. I'd love to sit here and paint a picture and be like, oh, I'd be a philanthropist and I'd travel the world and I'd, play with butterflies and give all my money to people in need. And that's what I would like to think I would do, but I don't know how I'd react. And I don't think anyone can genuinely, hand on heart, say they know how they'd react in that situation. I just don't believe it. I think you kind of have to be in the situation to know how you'd react. Everyone can paint a beautiful picture of themselves, but it doesn't mean anything until you do it. The proof is in the pudding kind of thing. So I think I respect how, actually, ironically, Ricky Gervais lives his life.
Yeah.
He doesn't indulge in designer clothes and stuff like that. He does what makes him happy. He says what's on his mind. And this is the picture we get of him, of course. And he cares deeply about animals. Therefore, he spends a lot of time doing and donating money and promoting the cause of animal rights. And he gets so much shit from people who are like, oh, but what about this need, and what about this cause? Well, yeah, there's millions of causes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should do something you believe in, because otherwise it's false.
Yeah, you can't do all of it.
Right. Exactly. So if you believe in animal rights, then fight for that. Like, pick your battles. But anyway, so I'd like to think I'd go down that route. Most likely, I'd probably fly private jet around the world and watch sports and spend too much money. But that's not the image of myself I want to create. So I'm going to say philanthropy. Yes. Let's settle on that.
Yes, philanthropy.
No, but I think it's an impossible question.
Yeah, I agree. You don't know until you're there.
Yeah.
But if I put the question this way, forget about the fame, forget about all that stuff. 100 years from now, you're dead and buried. Yes. What do you want people to remember you for?
Oh, and this is something I've thought about a lot, and not necessarily what I want to be remembered for, but what is. We get this very infinite, like, short period of time on Earth. I think it's dangerous to want to make an impact, because some people who want to make an impact.
It's dangerous to want to make an impact.
Yeah, in a sense, because it can go two ways. It's dangerous to want to be. Okay, let me change that. It's dangerous to want to be remembered, because then you're doing things for the wrong reason. I believe. I think you should do what you actually believe in, and if someone happens to remember you for it, then great. So for me, I kind of want to, of course, I want to have made a difference in people's lives, but that's not the sole aim. That's not the goal. That's the result, right? So what I want to be, how I want to live my life, is to try and be as good of a person I can, understand that I'm not perfect, I'm going to make mistakes. My main goal is to make sure that my kids learn from my mistakes, and I give them the tools to succeed in their life. And that's why, again, delaying the introduction of phones and all this into their lives, because I believe that they have way more to gain from that than by not doing that. So I want to set them up for success. I want to try and be a good person, but I don't necessarily want to be remembered. But if I am, it'll be because I've been doing the right thing, and I've made an impact in somebody's life. So it's I think if I could look down on myself dead in the grave in 100 years' time and see that I've set my kids up in a way that is going to make them able to deal with the demands and challenges of this world, that's success for me.
Beautiful. It's a good answer, man.
Thank you.
I told you not to come here with prepared answers.
Wait, did I get that right? Where's my papers? Yeah.
No, that was real good. I haven't up until recently, I haven't thought much about it.
Yeah.
I've just kind of lived my life.
Yeah.
Trying to be a good person, and do the things I love more.
Has it changed since the health scare?
Maybe. I don't know if it has to do with the health scare, though.
Okay. Because the realization of one's own mortality is it's a game changer.
This is a different conversation, but I don't really believe in mortality. It kind of just changes. But yeah, this vehicle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This vehicle is going to die.
That's episode 3. Yeah.
But I don't really see this, this body, this vehicle as
final destination.
Me.
Okay.
It's just a vehicle borrowed.
Wow, now we're going into some
temporarily
really,
used by whatever the
really
soul
challenging topics now.
So I don't really care about mortality.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest, it's just an episode that ends. New ones are popping up all over the place. So the whole planet is a living organism that's doing its thing. And I'm fairly interesting, but I'm not that interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's how I'd summarize you as well.
Yeah. It's a good review. Fairly
interesting, but not that interesting. That's the Swedish part of you coming out right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fairly interesting. Anyway,
I mean,
not that interesting.
I've managed to fill a podcast with stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fairly interesting.
Good job.
But not that
interesting. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
What was I even talking about?
What you do differently.
The change. Yeah. I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who, during war, during like that kind of horrible period, maintain a love and respect for their peers, and even the ones that we are supposed to hate.
Yeah.
And I have seen. That's why I made the Vi och Dom.
Yes,
the movie.
That was beautiful.
It really, something really spoke to me. Like, you have to make this, and I'm under no illusion that it changes anything in anyone's lives. But I just had to do it, and I had to do it now. Yeah. Because I feel that there is so much tension, and people are treating each other worse and worse because of the tension. It's insane. And I really want to be one of the people who doesn't fall into that trap, first of all. Yeah. And has the principles to, not only stay out of that mess, but also be brave enough to say, see, this is stupid. We don't have to hate Russians, or we don't have to hate these people. Yeah. We're all people. Yeah. And people most of us just want to live our lives in peace. Yeah. And so many people who have other agendas, they're a minority, but they are effective in what they do. They want to take any line of separation between us they can and use it for their agenda. Yeah. It can be race or ethnicity or religion or fucking where your passport has been manufactured. Issued. Thanks. It's silly. It's silly. We're all people. Yeah. And that has become more important for me to vocalize now that I'm seeing people treat each other like shit because there's uncertainty in the world. Yeah.
It's fear, right?
It is fear.
It's fear. I mean,
it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, UK had the whole Brexit thing. Mm-hmm. This fear-mongering story of people coming here and they took our jobs, and that obviously turned out to be a big fat lie to have more control over our finances, sort of thing. So it's it's management by fear is dangerous, and that is definitely prevalent now in the world. Yes, more than ever before.
Although you do have a huge issue over there with people coming in illegally, so I don't know how much it was just bullshit, but
but did it stop it?
No, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
It was never going to stop that part of it. Yeah. But it's it's a weird one. But yeah, I think we're getting more and more divided as a species.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Politically, we've never been more divided politically than ever before.
Have you heard of the Second World War?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you heard of slavery?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the
pretty polarized times. Well, when all the black people were slaves in the US.
People weren't divided then. That was normality for a huge percentage of the population. That was normal at that time.
Wait, when you say divided, what do you mean?
I mean divided in opinion.
I would imagine most of the slaves were of the opinion we shouldn't be slaves.
Okay.
Most of them. Maybe not. # not all slaves.
Oh my god.
But I would imagine most of them.
All right. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
This is
Yoshi.
going to be the clip for Instagram.
No chance. Don't hear what I'm not saying now. I mean, like, politically, I don't think we've been more divided.
I disagree.
Okay, and you're using slavery as your proof,
or whatever was going on before World War II. I mean, people were literally fighting in the streets. Yeah, but communists and Nazis were fighting in the streets over political disagreements every day
in Germany,
in many countries.
Right, but I'm talking about. Okay, let me rephrase it then. I think in the area that we live.
Yes.
I think we've never been more divided.
I strongly disagree.
I know you're going to say that, but like Germany, oh God, I don't know enough about the subject. I just realized I'm like, I'm out of my depth here.
Let me educate
Someone throw the life buoy and pull me back in.
Let me educate you then.
Go on then.
We are not nearly as divided as some people would like to make us think we are.
Is that the trick?
Yes. That's all it is. Like we really... I'll use football as an example. This is not my example. I stole it from, I think, Sapiens by Harari. You have the World Cup every 4 years.
Yep.
All the world's nations are invited. Those that make it through, they're in the World Cup.
Yep.
That is insane if you compare that to any time in the past before the World Cup was invented. What's a nation, they would say.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What's a flag? Everyone has a flag, a symbol for their countries. We had empires, we had fiefdoms, we had like religious whatever
thought leaders,
yeah. And they were all like trying to murder each other. Now we have a football cup, World Cup, and everyone comes and plays, and everyone knows the rules. Everyone knows what football is. We're collaborating on a global scale to play a game, which is madness.
Sure.
Yeah. And that is just one example. You can apply that to pretty much anything. I mean, we vote. Everyone goes and votes in Sweden.
Yeah,
some
that's
people
democracy.
Some people like that party. Some people like the other party. Yeah. We have some disagreements, but we vote. And when the other guys win, we're like, all right, I guess they won now.
Sure. I see your point, and I give you the Capitol riot protest.
The U.S. is more polarized than we are.
All right, let's agree on that and move on.
For sure. But not nearly as polarized as the world has been.
But I think my takeaway from that point is that I think it's back to this information overload, and it's the narrative that is fed to us. And this is something I'm aware of, but have obviously fallen into that trap of assuming, that everyone hates each other and everyone's against each other. So maybe it's actually proving, in a way.
I will say this: we are more in the U.S. and some parts of the West. We are more polarized than we were maybe 10, 15 years ago.
I think that was a better reflection of the statement I should have made.
If you had said that, I would just have nodded and shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we just rewind and just be like, wait, hold on, let me do this again. So I think people are...
Go ahead. No,
but I'm with you.
Yeah.
And like I say, I can agree with that assumption as well.
That is sorry for interrupting, but that is really one of the core issues of today, that maybe it has to do with information overload, as you were saying, but also we are so fucking obsessed with what's going on today.
Yeah.
That we never look at what happened in the past. And it's like, you have to do that because that is our history.
Yeah, exactly.
That is our history.
You can't just sweep it under the rug.
We can fall into the same traps as before. And two, look at the barbarism that we used to call normal. And like you said, slavery, it was normal.
Right.
All over the world, it was normal.
That thought now.
You take a human being and you turn it into slave. That's how we do it. And now we're here, and we have to look at that shit and be like, we're actually progressing.
Yeah.
And we were so divided in World War II.
Tell me again about that.
It was really it was a polarized period.
Was it like a war or something?
They didn't get along.
Okay.
I know that.
Nice.
So we have to look at that shit. But we're so obsessed with what's going on now, and we're like, Donald Trump. You're like, he's a nasty, disgusting person, and he took power, and now he wants it back.
Yeah.
All right, is that the worst thing that has happened in history?
No, I think that's every history lesson, basically.
I just listened to a podcast about Julius Caesar, Hannibal, and Alexander the Great.
Oh yeah.
Fucking lunatics.
Yeah, exactly.
Lunatics.
We
Trigonometry. Great podcast.
We learned a lot about Henry VIII in school. Charming fella.
Yeah.
Was it 7 wives? Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived.
I mean, Bob Marley had like 13 kids with like 8 different women or something.
Hey, don't bring Bob into this conversation, right?
Jesus, he's a great guy. I love Bob Marley.
So that's not where I thought you were going to that.
I mean,
oh dear.
even the sun has its dark spots. What do we say?
Yeah, there you go. That's a quote.
Have I educated you now?
Oh, I'm so educated. Honestly, so educated right now.
No, I'm sorry for that, but that is one of the things that bugs me when people say stuff like that. When the BLM stuff was going on in the U.S. and I think it was Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics.
Right.
Look at that.
You're wearing a Boston Celtics stuff. Yeah.
I think it was Jaylen Brown or maybe it was Malcolm Brogdon. I can't remember. Yeah. Who said, "Man, racism has never been worse in this country." And I'm like, what? Do you know which country you live in?
Yeah.
How do you say something like that?
Yeah.
I get it. It was a bad time. It was a lot of stuff going on, riots.
Absolutely.
And the police in the US are do crazy shit. Yeah. Yes, but never.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't there.
Anyway, that bugs me when people say stuff like that and pretend that it's real. Like, fine, to make a point, you can talk about this is we're really in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But look back through history and celebrate how good things are now in comparison to
I agree. And also I think we're terrified of having these conversations, which is weird, eh? Like, you and I are sitting here now. Number one, it does not feel like we're on a podcast because we're just kind of shooting from the hip. Number two, I don't remember the last time I've had I've had these conversations, but it's less prevalent in today's world to have a conversation with someone who you don't agree with and try and listen to their point and understand and be humble enough to maybe say, okay, yeah, it's a good point. I still think this way, but have a civil conversation. Do you know what I mean? That can't happen because everything has to be so extreme.
Yeah.
And if you're not of the same chain of thought, you're automatically wrong, or you're a bad person. And some people are wrong and some people are bad people, but you should be able to have a conversation with someone and understand that people come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different experiences, different education. We're going to have difference of opinions. If we all thought the same, it'd be fucking boring. Could you imagine? That would be a dystopia that I don't want to live in if we all just thought the same thing all the time. You need this.
It would be like some workplaces I've been in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I've been there too. And it's tough because you shouldn't be ostracized and alienated from a group for having a difference of opinion, or maybe not even a difference of opinion, but not feeling as strongly about something as somebody else. And I see that happen all the time. Yeah. All the time, especially nowadays.
I agree. There's this immense pressure to be good.
Yeah.
To appear like you're a good person.
Yeah.
And not only to appear as a good person, but do it verbally on time,
right?
Because of social media,
right?
You have to put up a flag.
Yes, yeah.
If you are like, oh wait, I want to read. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this conflict. I'm not just gonna put up a flag. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you supporting Nazis?
Right, exactly. You're a bad person.
Social media and the internet in general, information has become so fast, and we're still like you said before, like evolution is not caught up. We're still super scared of being excluded from the group because back in the days that meant death.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what our genes are saying.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's the fear, right?
And now something happens on the other side of the planet, and suddenly everyone needs to put up a black square box when it was the BLM stuff, and like companies, businesses that have nothing to do with that.
I was in a company where we had about 40 different meetings on whether we should post that or not, and it was like, well, the more we discuss it, the more performative it becomes, and it's tough. And but you're right, people and myself. I mean, I did it. I was absolutely part of that kind of. No, do you know what? If I can make a change, then I can make. If I can make a statement, I can make a statement. All this stuff, and I still agree with that. I still agree with the fact that you should speak up and talk about what you believe in, but don't just do it because you're scared of the consequences.
And obviously, I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that.
Sure,
it's great to show your support for something, but it's very, very wrong to pressure people to be vocal about whatever this stance or that stance, and if they don't, that people go like trying to cancel them or boycott this business because they haven't made a statement about BLM. It's like they're selling yogurt.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Leave them the fuck alone.
And that's the kind of stuff you can go back to it and say how many of the companies that made very bold and strong statements on this have actually lived up to those promises, and who's holding them accountable.
It's not their job to do.
Right, exactly.
It's all virtue signaling.
It is,
it's
virtue signaling.
And that's just, I'm not... I use that example, but it can be, whatever. It can be taking a stance on Donald Trump or what's going on in Israel, Palestine,
exactly.
or Ukraine or whatever. People just have this fucking need to show that they're good and then shame everyone who is not showing that they're good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the part I have a problem with. I don't have a necessarily problem with wanting to show that, it can be tough on the person doing it more so than anybody else. Mm-hmm. But shaming people who, like, for example, I haven't posted anything about Israel and Palestine. I don't know enough about that conflict. Mm-hmm. I know that killing innocent people is bad, but I don't know enough. I'm not a correspondent. I'm not a historian. I don't know.
I mean,
so for me,
historians can't even agree.
No,
it's
but for me to sit here and say that this person's good and this person's bad, it's tough. I would only be doing it to try not to seem like a bad person in a way.
Yeah. And
that's wrong because, you could find out in 10 years' time that it was totally different and we've all been just tricked. And,
for sure.
It's this, the main takeaway from that for me is we talked a little bit about lines of information, right? Mm-hmm. The one skill I'm trying to teach my kids, like the main skill, is to be critical of what source, be source critical. Because there's so much information out there. There's information to support every argument. Yes. Every argument you want to make, you will find something to support that argument. I've had this almost like a competition with a friend of mine where it's like, right, let's take two juxtaposition sides of the story. You find information to back yours, I'll find information. We've both been able to convince each other that the other person's right because there's so much information, there's manipulation of information, there's everything. You don't know what you're seeing and what you're reading and what the agenda is. If you look in, the news in the US is very pro-Israel. The news somewhere else is very pro-Palestine. Everybody has an agenda. Mm-hmm. And I'm not that person to make a comment on this. Although I will say, anybody that kills innocent people is a cunt. But
yes, that's
about as much as I can comment on the situation. And I would love to be able to do more. But
if you're a decent person, you want peace.
Yeah.
No matter who's doing the killing and no matter who's being killed.
Yeah.
But of course, sometimes it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
and that's fine. Not expressing an opinion on everything is fine.
But there's a line of thought now. You've heard it, right? If you're silent, you're compliant.
Oh yeah.
That's terrifying.
I mean,
how scary is that? If you're silent, you're compliant. Okay, so if I don't comment on every atrocity and
you're going to be talking all the time.
All the time. It's everything.
But it's funny because people who say that, they don't say that about every conflict.
No, exactly. And this is it.
It's just another way of shaming people into saying,
right,
whatever the media you follow is shining a flashlight on right now.
Yeah. That's scary. That's scary. But hey, we've gone from farts in a jar to Israel Palestine.
Yeah,
that was a roller coaster. I was not expecting, to be honest.
I know. This has been a wild ride, man.
Yes.
I don't know how many cancellations I'm getting for this one.
But this is the thing.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. It's always a pleasure.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Where should people go to follow your to join your millions of other listeners?
I mean,
and follow.
I don't know. I have people that do this for me now. No.
By people, you mean me?
By people,
I have to like research which links to put in myself.
No.
Just tell them.
By people, I mean me. Me and my brother are running social media. So yeah, you just slide into our DMs. So we have you find us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Nice. That voice again.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
what is it called?
It's called What the Fuck is Allsvenskan?
But it's
WTF is Allsvenskan.
WTF is Allsvenskan.
That's the one, and it's glorious. Join the fun, people. It's a journey. If you don't like Allsvenskan, you will. If you do like Allsvenskan, you might not agree with us, but you'll have a laugh doing it. That's for sure.
Fantastic. I will include the links.
Yes.
And this has been amazing.
Always a pleasure.
It is exactly what I needed. We had a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Talked a lot of shit.
a lot of shit we don't know much about.
Well, what the fuck? It's my podcast. Who gives a shit? What is this?
The rules are there are no rules.
Is this the History Channel? Go watch the fucking History Channel if you want truth.
Oh, it's glorious. Yes.
Start your own podcast. What can I say?
Get your own ball.
I'm here to have a good time with my good friend Andy. If you have listened this far, there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
But thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, good luck with everything. I hope I hope What the Fuck is Allsvenskan keeps growing and becomes a global phenomenon.
Oh yeah, we're taking over.
And one day it becomes billions instead of millions.
Exactly.
So yeah, thank you.
Cheers, dude.
And thank you to everyone who has listened to this train wreck of an episode.
Yes.
I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
That was the most random conversation you're ever going to listen to.